Hi everybody. I wanted to go over the week 11 assignments in English 101 to make sure that you're doing them correctly. So in the announcement, you'll see the list of things that you need to do. The first one is to complete the Unit 3 Summary Response Essay. You've done the planner and looked at my feedback, and now you're going to type the full essay. Before you submit it, please look at the rubric, and there is a link in the announcement for the rubric, and go through the different criteria and what is expected. This is how you'll be graded, so it's very important that you understand what you are expected to do. So go through the exemplary column of the rubric and make sure that your essay meets those requirements. Another thing you want to do before you submit your essay is to look at the sample essay. And we have just submitted a new sample essay that is a full essay, and it has annotations to draw attention to the different aspects of the essay that you should be in compliance with. So please take a look at this new essay, and you can see the format on the title page. It will talk about your introduction. It will talk about your thesis statement, the headings, using your sources. It gives examples of annotations, or excuse me, citations to show when you quote or paraphrase information from your sources. It mentions that you need to use, you're responding to the article that I gave you, but you need to use information from both that article and the article that you found in this essay. And then it shows you the references page and what that might look like. So please look over that sample essay. When you're all done, there's a link for you to upload your document. Now the due date is Wednesday, so that's a midweek deadline. If you do need a few more days, I am okay with that. I'm not going to deduct a lot of points if you aren't right on Wednesday, because I know this is a big assignment and some of you had some difficulties with your planner and may be a little bit behind. You do need to get it in before the end of week 11. Otherwise, you will definitely lose points. Okay, meanwhile, we're going to move on to Unit 4. So in the learning materials for Unit 4, there are some items that you need to read. Please read those items carefully. There are links here in the announcement, or you can access them by going to Content and going to Unit 4 Learning Materials. Once you've read that material, then you can read the article that you are going to use for your Unit 4 essay. It is called Ungrading by Susan Bloom. And this is also in the Unit 4 Learning Materials, and there's a link in the announcement. Read the article, annotate it, get familiar with this article. And then the final thing that you're going to do this week is to complete part of the planner for your Unit 4 essay. So you are only doing part 1, which basically is just describing the article and the key points that you will use eventually when you summarize the article. So I'm going to open up the planner. The link is here in the announcements, and you can also get to that by going to Content and Unit 4 Assignments. So the planner is in 4 parts, and we'll be filling those out bit by bit as we go through the next couple of weeks. So for this week's assignment, you are just doing part 1. However, when you open up the planner, you will find that it has all of the parts in one document. So please note that you are only filling out part 1. And that simply is going to ask for the article information, author, title, source, date, the topic or subject matter of the article, the author's claim or argument, you'll state that, and then there's space for you to list the main points or the key ideas from the article. And if you would please number those so that I can see clearly this is the first thing that was in the article, this was what it said next, thirdly, fourthly, etc. And so these ideas would be used in a summary. The last part of part 1 is for you to think about counter arguments. So you know what the author's claim is. What would be some counter claims or counter arguments? And there is space here for you to brainstorm a few of those. And then the last thing on the part 1 planner says, for the next assignment, you will find a supplemental source that presents a counter argument. You're not doing that this week. That will be for next week with part 2. So as long as you give the article information, topic, claim, main points, and a few ideas of counter arguments, that's all you're doing for part 1. When you're done with filling out part 1 of that document, then you can go to the link for uploading the document. Again, it will not be fully filled out, only part 1. Okay, that's it for week 11, and contact me if you have any questions.